All right, when last we left off, we were trying to talk about how you go from a distribution like this in a very dark image to something maybe more like that. How do we actually do it? Well, first thing I like to do is to go through and trim off any data that I know just is kind of crud. Because of poor tracking, the alignment here wasn't perfect, so I'm just going to crop this image right here. And by the way, you'll notice what I did is I set these B and W sliders so I could actually see my image. I could see this inside here and know where to crop. Another thing that's really handy right now is before you do any stretching, let it run something like the just color background. Boom, if you notice now we've made this nice. It automatically picks the values. Almost always you just hit done and you're all set. Now you could think we're done, but remember this is still actually a really compacted histogram. It's not going to show you actually what you want. You go back to the wide scale and it looks dark. But we can do things, for example, digital development. Digital development, oh my gosh, in one shot, hey look, we're done. Okay, that was a little bit too easy. But the automatic values it chose actually worked very nicely for this. You can play with these to try to make something, make a little bit more come out, but then maybe darken the background a little bit more. And you can pull out all sorts of stuff here very nicely with DDP. So that worked pretty easily, pretty darn well. Let's cancel this so that in fact it didn't work quite so well, and let's look at the standard tool of levels. Levels here lets you go and set things like the power. Look at the distribution down here. This is the histogram again. And you can see right now what I've done by sliding this power, I've shifted this distribution and it's actually stretched a little bit. The orange line is what it now looks like. We can go and set the black point and we can start to see that in fact this is starting to come through. But tell you what, let me just do a little bit of a background power of something like this. Let me hit done. Let me run levels again and you'll see now this is the result. This is what happened. So I'll set maybe a black point and darken it up a little bit. And let's give another little boost of this sort of power here and hit done. Let's just keep running this over and over. And what we'll see is as we do this, we start pulling out that nebula. And we also start seeing that this histogram, this distribution here, is now getting wider and wider. Look at it up here now. Look at this. We are stretching and pulling this out. So inside of just a couple minutes here, oh my gosh, there's a nebula. It looks a little bit flat. That's typical of a levels tool. We'll do another one in the next segment here.